Throw in the middle, Ken.
You've been listening to the amazing press conference by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, where he dropped the bombshell just moments ago, banning Donald Sterling, the owner of the LA Clippers, for life from any activity with the NBA, for any activity with the LA Clippers. He also apologized to present and former players. Mr. Sterling will not be allowed to have any business or personnel decisions with this team or with the NBA. Mr. Silver said that he spoke to a group of owners and that he had their full support. He made his final decision on this morning. Time to bring back in Fox News contributor and sports reporter Jim Gray. Keep it right here on Fox with the breaking developments on the NBA situation and the owner of the LA Clippers. In the meantime, we have more breaking news and a Fox News alert on Benghazi. The deadly terrorist attack there and how the president and his administration handled it, including newly uncovered documents about who coordinated the official response that we heard from then UN Ambassador Susan Rice, those talking points. So do these new documents now lead directly to the White House? For that, we go to Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge, live for us in Washington. Catherine, breaking news today. You've been covering this for more than a year. What do you know today?
Well, thank you, Gretchen. These new Benghazi documents do lead directly to the White House and suggest a senior advisor to President Obama played a central role preparing former UN Ambassador Susan Rice for her controversial Sunday show appearances, where she blamed an internet video for the terrorist attack. Among more than 100 pages of documents released to Judicial Watch after a federal lawsuit is a September 14th email from Ben Rhodes, an assistant to the president and deputy national security advisor for strategic communications. This email was sent 3 days after the attack and 2 days before Rice went on the Sunday talk shows. And it says the goals include, quote, to underscore that these protests are rooted in an internet video and not a broader failure of policy. The Rhodes email was sent to a dozen members of the administration's inner circle, including key members of the White House communications team, such as spokesman Jay Carney. It was sent at the same time on-the-ground reporting from U.S. personnel stated there was no protest in Benghazi. The president of Judicial Watch says the documents read like a PR strategy, not an effort to provide the best available intelligence to the American people.
The goal of the White House was to do one thing primarily, which was to make the president look good, blame it on the video, and not on the president's policies.
Incidentally, last night, 3 leading Republicans, Senators Graham, Ayotte, and McCain, sent letters to the House and Foreign Affairs committees asking them to compel the administration to explain who briefed Rice in advance of the Sunday talk shows and whether State Department or White House personnel were involved. Fox News is seeking comment from the White House today, and among our questions is whether Rhodes briefed Rice or anyone else on that email chain, Gretchen.
Wow. Amazing developments after all this time. Catherine Herridge, thank you so much for your reporting.
You're welcome.
And for more on this now, Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz joins me, a Republican on the House Oversight Committee. All right, we had the bombshell at the top of the show with regard to the NBA. I mean, this is another bombshell here on Benghazi. Your reaction?
Well, the difference here is we have 4 dead Americans, and we have a White House that is perpetuating a group of lies that just simply aren't true. For a long, long time, the White House would lead you to believe that they were not involved in this, and yet these documents for the first time really reveal the direct link to the White House, that they were orchestrating a narrative that was not true. It was a narrative that was false, and it deals with Ben Rhodes and his communication out from the White House itself. And I got to tell you, Judicial Watch had to file a Freedom of Information request and go to court to get this. We in the United States Congress issued a subpoena back in August that was not fulfilled. We got the same document at the same time, and they are filling FOIA requests more than they're listening to Congress, and it's a problem. It's a real problem.
So we should remind everyone that Ben Rhodes, of course, was a communications specialist with this administration. Wouldn't the administration know, Congressman Chaffetz, that through FOIA, through the Freedom of Information Act, that somebody was eventually going to get their hands on these emails?
Well, I got to believe that truth will eventually surface. But remember, it was the White House saying they were not involved. They did not have these things. You have the President of the United States himself saying as new information is available, we would release it to the public. That has never been true. How President Obama can look the American people in the eye and say that, it's just not true. I could tell you on the House Oversight Committee, with a duly issued subpoena, we've had roughly 3,200 new documents in just the last 30 days. The White House has been telling the White House press corps that they have, this has happened a long time ago. We've given them all this information. We got 3,200 new documents in just the last 30 days.
And it was once described as a phony scandal by the President of the United States. And this next one, there was not a smidgen of corruption, according to President Obama. I'm talking about the IRS targeting scandal. A lawyer now, Congressman for Lois Lerner, wants to address you, the House, before a vote to hold Lerner in contempt of Congress. So in a letter to House Speaker John Boehner, this is what he wrote. Holding Ms. Lerner in contempt would not only be unfair and indeed un-American, it would be flatly inconsistent with the Fifth Amendment as interpreted, that is, by the Supreme Court. Un-American?
What a joke. I mean, they've had 10 months to try to make their case that she didn't violate, give up her Fifth Amendment rights. I think Trey Gowdy, as much as anybody, has made the case that, no, she did, in fact, give up those rights. We brought it before the House Oversight Committee. We debated it. We voted on it. It's going to go to the floor very soon. But no, do you think we're going to put her attorney out in front on the floor of the House? I mean, come on, give me a break. That's not the American way, and that's not what's going to happen.
The fascinating thing is, and I want you to say what you think the attorney might actually say in front of Congress, but it would be unprecedented, would it not? 6 sets of astronauts have spoken before Congress, 48 heads of state, but such a request by her attorney, Mr. Taylor, I mean, it's never going to happen, right? What do you think he wants to say?
I don't know. I mean, we have hard enough time getting Benjamin Netanyahu and other world leaders to come address Congress. We're not going to let this Yahoo come before Congress. Look, he sent us a 5.5-page letter. I've read it. He tries to make his case. I think members fully understand this. Again, I think we've made the case. Chairman Issa, has made a good case, and she is in contempt of Congress. That's why we're going to vote on it. It's the way the American way works. But I think she'll find that she's found in contempt.
So Eric Cantor, Congressman Cantor from Virginia, coming back off of Easter recess and other holidays, he said that vote is going to come up very soon. Can you tell Fox and the viewers today when that vote will happen on contempt?
I don't know that I'm supposed to tell you it's next week, but that's what I think it is. I might get in trouble for that, but yeah.
All right, Fox News alert, next week. We're going to be voting on Lois Lerner. The final exit question.
You got me in big trouble here, Gretchen,
but
okay.
Well, and afterwards I'll find out exactly what day, too. But now that we know that it's next week, exit question for you, Congressman, is what's going to happen after you vote her in contempt?
Well, then there's a couple different legal strategies, but if we're going to turn this over to the Department of Justice, they better darn well follow through on what they're supposed to do. But there are other tools there, and that, Gretchen, we're going to have to wait for another interview.
All right. We'll look forward to it. Congressman Jason Chaffetz of Utah, thank you. Brand new developments in the search for the missing Malaysian airliner. 2 people now claiming to have spotted some of the